Hello. Apparently I started at the right time, although it seems like YouTube's clock is a bit earlier than mine. Uh, but welcome. Welcome back to another stream of Synetic Reconstruction. Synetic Reconstruction. Okay. Uh, when we last left off, something happened. I don't remember what. Uh, but we do have. Oh, I should probably import some stuff, shouldn't I? Um, yes. Let's look at this, and let's look at our. I guess I named it Proto Tsundu Lensing at the time. And if we apply these sound changes, we should get something like that. But the important thing is we've added a third member into this group, which is Gui. No, Gui Yang. Gui Yang. Along with Chengdu and La wait Lanjin. Lanjin. Yeah. Which are the less famous Guiyang, just as more famous Chengdu and maybe even more famous Nanjing. But yeah, those are the three that we're dealing with today. They seem to form. Let me see if I can bring up the China map we saw last time. Is it this one? Yes. Wait, no, not Mongolia. Here. Which, as you can see, Guiyang's here, Chengdu's here, and Nanjing's here, which does not necessarily form like a coherent subgroup, but it certainly seems like they do. So I think given all of this data, we can reconstruct something like a proto Southern Mandarin, and then at least it seems easy enough to reconstruct such a thing, and then from there we can bridge back to the proto Max, as we called it, the proto language. Yes. Maybe we can bridge it to Proto Mandarin along the way, but at that point, it might Proto Mandarin might just be like, it might not necessarily be a coherent grouping. Anyway, my hot takes out of the way. Let's get back to what we were doing. As you can see, I did this Shu stuff because it seems like we do indeed need 3 series, as judging by key and not for Chengdu, but for Lanjin, it appears that ke can, or like velar consonants like g, k, h, ng can indeed appear in front of palatal or high front segments like y, or just the vowels e, u. And so we do need at least like 3. Yeah, so the palatal series would be something that is separate from this, from the velar series. So I'm wondering if that means we can consider them. I guess you could consider them allophones of the retroflexes, maybe. Yeah, that might be possible. Because I was just thinking it'll contrast with the dentals in front of they'll contrast with the dentals in front of high front segments because this Lanjin does, or Lanjing does have plain dental consonants in front of high front segments like can't find it. Should have planned ahead. But they do exist. Oh, here it is. Like sin or sin for new. And you also have something that contrasts like yeah, there's also qi. And then you have something like jia here, or xue here. But I'm guessing that retroflexes never appear before front segments, so you could possibly analyze them as allophones, but I kept them separate, which might not be the proper thing to do, but like historically I don't think that they're connected, so I think I'm justified in doing this. Anyway, what else? Right. I did this on my own time. I didn't come back here and revise these. So I think it's time to revise these. Oh, for the word for hard. Oh, did I revise them? I might have revised them. I don't remember. But let's look at the word for hard, which I figured out. Hello, Olivia. You have eyes and you must watch. Welcome. Today we're restricting our scope to just 3 Mandarinic varieties, which are Nanjing, Chengdu, and Guiyang, which are kind of southern, but are still Mandarin, so I'm calling them Southern Mandarin, and we're just going off of that because finding the steps from our original Proto-Sinitic reconstruction to Chengdu was a bit too much of a feat for me to handle, a bit off more than I can chew. So that's why we're doing a smaller, more obvious proto language first, and then bridging from there to the actual proto language that we wanted to get to. I remember having trouble with the word for hard last time here, and I finally remembered what it was that's tripping me up, like what's causing this issue of mine. It's because Chengdu inserts has the velar nasal as its null segment. So like I believe every word that doesn't start with a high front vowel, or I guess as well, has to start with a ng. So the ng is secondary, and so we can delete that. And from that, it seems a bit more obvious now because phonemic o before a n is actually a schwa. This is also a schwa, and this might be a schwa as well. Let's check the phonemicization page for Guiyang. Yep. E before n is actually a schwa. So I think we can even narrow it down to a schwa n in the H tone, departing tone. So let's do that. Applying that, of course, that means we have to add Oh, that means I can't reconstruct ngol for or I can't reconstruct ngol for this either. I will have to reconstruct all. Although, because what I'm thinking is that the reason null and velar nasal mergers are so common in Sinitic is because of the tone split, which relegated the null tone to the upper register tones, or not the null tone, sorry, the null initial to the upper register tones, because that always comes from something with an initial nasal, not an initial nasal, sorry, not an initial glottal stop, which is voiceless and so goes into the upper tones. And then there's the velar nasal, which is always voiced and always goes into the lower tones. And like the other members of the glottal stop series would be the like a voiceless h, and the voiced series would be the voice counterpart of that, which was probably like or as I've written them here, I had them as velar fricatives, so and which are kind of like aesthetic, mostly because it's easier for me to pronounce than the breathy h. So that's what I ended up with. But those would be the corresponding quote unquote aspirated and quote unquote voiced members of the null initial series, which also includes the glottal stop. And so those eventually turn into after the tone split and the devoicing. So or they disappear and end up with end up giving you a initial or something like that. So yeah, that means I have to fix this as well. So essentially that entire tangent was to say maybe this null velar nasal phenomenon goes back further than I well, yeah, it might go back further than I think it is, or like it might still show up here because they're in complementary distribution, and so they're easy to confuse, or like it's easy to make that phonemic distinction disappear. And yes, I'm referring to phonemes in complementary distribution because I'm referring to phonemes as they are like mental constructs in the speaker's heads rather than those things which don't have minimum pairs, which might not be the same. What else? Right, yes. Insertion here. I'm going to put this at 99. To make it easy on myself. So nothing becomes if, or like at word start and then like a set of probably like all or something like that, just like vowels except palatalize, but I'm not sure how I could or no, vowels except no, I should probably add there as well. No, vowels except for high vowels. So like all non-high vowels. And so if we apply that, then we should get the same thing, right? We get ngo and where is it? Ngen. If we scroll down here. Yeah, this is ngen. And I will be right back because I need to change out my water. Yeah, dirt got in my mug for some reason. Uh, but yeah. Okay. So, nga is a secondary thing, so I should probably search for nga. You're considering this n, but let's match diacritics. Oh, wait. Yeah. I have to like exclude it if it has a nasal at the end there, or not a nasal but a rhotic. So um oh, it's exclamation mark and then R. Nope, that's not the right R. Where? There you are. There you are. And that should be right, I think. Yeah. Good. Maybe I should be using here. Maybe I should unphonемicize my data set, or at least apply, because this is just a notational difference, right? Kunsuin, hello. Welcome back. Uh, but yeah, I think, right. Let me check my reconstruction here to make sure that they're the same on both sides. I think I'm willing to say that this is kie. I guess we should also do um what is it? The palatalization, which has to happen before the dental mergers. So maybe dental mergers has to be step 2. And then that means, what is this? Palatalization would involve akka becoming, no, k becoming that, and then this is all these are all voiceless. Like this is post devoicing, so this would end up as k becoming, sorry, I keep forgetting that it's not just the angle bracket, and I do have to put in an equal sign. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. That happens. Where is this? Good. G becomes j. Right. In at palatalized environments. And not, no. An optional aspiration H. What do you mean it doesn't make sense? Or are you treating that as a null segment? Well, we'll see if this works. It does not. Very, very rude. Oh, I guess I should just group all of these, shouldn't I? Just put palatalization here as well. Or maybe it should be in dental merge. No, it shouldn't be in dental mergers because that's explicitly something that doesn't merge. Huh. Should put that there. Should put you here. Why aren't you working? Is it because of the star? It can't be, right? Yeah, that means I just have to like write them all separately, I guess. G, k. I'm still waiting for you to say what you aren't sure you've said already, by the way. And h becomes sh. got that. Sure. For palatalize. And if we apply this, then this becomes 且. Although I'm not sure if they actually do the creaky voice thing, because I'm applying my Mandarin instincts to it. Because the Mandarin tone would be 且 with heavy creakiness. So this could just be like 且, which I might not even be doing correctly. It's just that those two are kind of a phoneme complex for me, as in they're my 213 obligatorily comes with creaky voice. But yeah, let's that looks right. What else? Or rather all or all. Wait. I actually don't know, because the tonal pattern of this, I don't know. They're all weird. Like these you could probably just say go back to the original. Like yeah, these tones are similar enough that you could say they're like that. It's pretty damn obvious what the prototones are. Like prototone values even are what the proto values of the tones are even. Syntax was completely messed up that sentence. But stepping a bit further, this seems a bit more like the Beijing tones, at least when it comes to the quote unquote rising tone and the light level tone. The others aren't quite so similar, but then again, they're also very not similar to the rest of these, well, to the other two. And honestly, at this point, I probably should be analyzing it with schwa. Just because stuff like this, right? Shu, gun. These are all schwa, just like masked by a different phonemic analysis. So I really should restore that. Hi Trinity, welcome. We're doing like the second step of the ladder or something. We're doing Southern Mandarins. We're doing a proto Southern Mandarin so that we could bridge it to the proto language we ultimately want to get a bit more easily. Part of that is because I started on Chengdu and Chengdu would match the stress would match the English stress pattern to the tones a bit better. So we're doing Chengdu, and I realized I bit off more than I can chew. So, but then it seems like very similar to the two next to it. So this was the original. Not paper. What is this? The original spreadsheet. So you can see that there's these three here, and I was like, they look similar. Actually, it almost looks like it can almost be entirely derived from Nanjing. So here's like this is where we are. And Gui Yang preserves the N and L contrast that was lost in both of these. So we're reconstructing the contrast to the proto language of these three. Okay, what else? This should probably also be an In fact, I would be extremely surprised if it weren't an Although I have it written down as an eh. Actually, these might not be. No, this could be all. This would indicate a stop coda thing, a stop coda protoform. Not directly, but like dragging in external help would seem to suggest that this one is ru or sorry ru or something like that. And of course, also the fact that this one has a separate stop coda syllable tone also makes it confusing as to why it would merge with the lowest tone possible in the other two, if we're assuming that this contrast is original. Maybe it was like 2 and 3 before. Maybe the proto tone was like 2 and 3. And then because stop coda means a shorter syllable, the 3 got clipped off and that's why it merged. And then later Guiyang's just smoothed the dipping tone. And whereas Lanjin just like raised everything there. I don't know. It was a story that made sense, but I'm not sure how accurate that is. And I think these are actually all. I should probably drag the phonemicization tab further up. Yeah, as we can see here, there doesn't seem to be a there doesn't seem to be any rules before wa for schwa in Guiyang or for you. No, you're also but that just means that Guiyang probably assimilated its schwa in backness and rounding. So an original O became O. Yeah. So these are both so I'm tempted to say that this was also an we're reconstructing phonetic detail. I'm not sure how valid that is, but it seems correct. I guess this one would also be we'd also have to bring in the stop coda form here. Or maybe it borrowed it from some other lect. Since it's surrounded, well, I can't say it's surrounded, I'm not really sure. We could look at the map. Kunming is still, I believe, Mandarin speaking. Nanning is a bit far away. And like I feel like this here is about where, well, no, Changsha. Maybe something like this, like here and then down here. That might be the end of the Mandarin speaking region. We could look at Mandarin wiki. Mandarin Chinese. Do we have the map? Yeah, here we go. Is Guiyang an isolated region? This seems like it's saying that this is Hainan coming up. That would be a bottleneck here. No, Guiyang is still in like this large region here. I don't know. Hard to say. It might not be a it might not be, or at least it's not like an island of Mandarinic in a bunch of other more conservative lects that almost certainly have the stop coda preserved. So it's hard to know where they borrowed it from, and otherwise it seems like it follows all the sound changes for a word like that. So maybe I just have to reconstruct two protoforms that basically survived in every branch, which would be abnormal, unless it's like one was used in a compound in the proto language and then the other was just independent, but then that just got regularized somehow. As in like the non, like these got the codaless form and then this one got the coded form. Like maybe this was utterance final and then got generalized, and then these were like utterance medial and then got generalized. Eh. But yeah. It's hard to say in any case. I'm gonna keep the just because I don't think I have I feel like that has to be wrong, honestly. There has to be an hello Olivia again, meowing. And this guy just like compounded both of these. We have Jin. We have. Oh wait, no, this is weird. This is Jiang. Which would make sense if it were in contact with a more conservative lect and then took that in. Because in the earlier based on the reconstruction that we currently have, this goes back to Jiang. And so this looks like a straightforward palatalization process. I would normally write this with the palatal symbols, but these have merged with the dentals, or rather the dentals have also palatalized. And so my instinct when it comes to phonemic analysis is to call these dental sibilants, or dental sibilants, whether affricate or whether affricate or fricative, because they're both affricate / fricatives. This one's just raising. Honestly, this is probably just an analysis issue. Because this is probably like yeah, and or at least the single Siswanese speaker that I have met has high front na as yan or something. So this would reasonably be yuan, and which, depending on the person, I guess you could analyze it as an you could analyze it as an which would be a schwa. But I'm just going with the because that brings it closer in form to the this one. Yeah, I know it's not all that close, but my Cantonese speaker instinct says that Yun comes from Yuan, and so that's why I chose that. Uh, these just seem like two different forms entirely. One's 做, one's 做, one's 组. Uh, so here's a question mark here. Because I don't know what to reconstruct for that. what's 讲 after cool. Oh, yes, to speak, of course. So we have 讲. Oh yeah, this one was. Oh wait, no, duh, I solved that because I was confused about the lack of nga here versus the existence of nga here. So this one would just be ow versus niao. For these two. But then for this one, it seems like it's yao. And so I don't know which what this goes back to. But yes, we have we? No, we haven't added this. So this would be toe. Not to be, rather, would be 头发, and these would merge as 头发, but probably like some sort of I don't know, tone change kind of phenomenon means that they would be 头发 or 头发. I'm still adding a glottal stop when it shouldn't occur. Wait a minute. I just realized I don't have chat on screen. Give me like 1 second to do that. And by 1 second, I mean more like, I don't know, 15. Yes. Okay, and then let's make that visible, and we can see you now. Or at least we can see that you're saying something. I'm still not sure if the resolution is big enough to actually see what you're saying. And my throat's acting up today. Maybe because my water's cold. No, I shouldn't be. I should be like drinking room temperature water, but the room is cold. So, yeah, there's not much I can do about that. Yeah, this is da. This is nako. Oh, I originally thought there was something down here that made me think that maybe I should be reconstructing unstressed syllables for this, but I don't think so. Now I don't think so. Which one was it? It was the one about the fly here, because I thought, okay, this is an irregular tone. This one's unstressed, so maybe it was like originally unstressed, and then the unstressed gets restressed, which gave it like which made it become the default tone, which would be 4/5, whichever the one in the top left corner is usually for synotic. It's either that or like the high level tone, but this seems to indicate otherwise, and it might just be like leveling from compounds, where if there's something after it, this becomes a 5/5, or at least the high tone, and then because it usually appears in like a compound or something, then maybe it becomes 4/5, like that I don't know, quote unquote, contaminates the base form, leading it to be a 4-5. In any case, I would just have to say that this one's unexplained. Wait, not this one. This one's unexplained. And this has to be in the B tone. I think this is fine. Or wait, this would be yeah. I don't know why I'm having. Oh, because this one is unaspirated, weirdly. So that's another one that's unexplained. But it seems like the aspirated form is original, since we can see it here as well. 词胖, 词棒, sorry. So yeah. I'm fine with saying that. That's fine. And it's just there are several like irregularities here that I'm not sure how to explain. Yeah is fine, I think. Or wait, did I write yeah? No, that's another lemma. It's yeah. Yeah is the one for tooth, which we were on before we got distracted again. So this is probably an This one's da. And then this is e. This one would have to be a na because of Guiyang evidence. And Lanjin has a tendency towards unstressing. Or wait, a tendency towards a trochaic metrical structure. Because it seems like it's second syllable. A lot of second syllables get unstressed. Not sure how na came about. It might just be demonstrative. Oh, I guess there's another one that's the same as demonstrative. It could be like a substrate kind of thing. You could make the argument that no, I'm saying you could make the argument. It's pretty well established that Cantonese had demonstratives that were taken from what are now minority languages. So maybe they took it in, and then later the demonstrative to third person pronoun thing happened or something. Or I might just be mixing up a bunch of language development histories. So who knows? Oh, and the reason I said that is because Cantonese had Nigo, and it's kind of similar to this one. So, but who knows how that came about? I think Ta might be the well, Ta is the only thing we can reconstruct to the common ancestor of these three. Can't do anything with this. I think it's Da, and then this one's just aberrant. And Guiyang, apart from the singular retention of N versus L, it is actually kind of innovative, as in it merged the high front vowels, rounded and unrounded. So the fact that this is qiu doesn't really tell us anything. And also this one's just kind of a phonetic thing. I mean, I put it up here or something, right? But essentially, there's only one high front glide that appears in that position. So yeah and yeah are in complementary distribution, so you could technically analyze this as yeah. Which means my tangent about Guiyang merging the high front elements isn't actually relevant. This one's the word for this, right? And then the problem here is that the tones don't correspond, which means it's probably some sort of borrowing or something like even more ancient. But yeah, this is where you can actually see the high front elements merging, as this one's E, whereas these two are U. Which I have somewhere here, maybe, if I'm lucky. Or maybe I scrolled down too far. Where were we? After hair, somewhere here, yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh, and these are interesting because there's like jot would have to be a borrowing. Although the borrowing might be traceable. No. The borrowing might be reconstructible to the proto language. But yeah, we have go and we have jo. Which it needs to be said is different elsewhere, because this or at least in Beijing Mandarin, these two merge as jiao. So yeah. These are still all, I believe, and not you could probably reconstruct something here after you. So there's probably a zao. But this one's to. Well, you can reconstruct something for the proto language of these two. Probably not necessarily for these three. I'm not sure here. Especially since there's an aspiration and a tonal difference. And I'm not sure what 2-4 is anyway. It's probably like a typo for 1-3. Or maybe I didn't do like the phonemic analysis for tones as well as I should have. This one's also weird again, because evidently these are evidently related forms, but are probably not cognate, because this would regularly correspond to 2-1, as you can see with, this form here. 2-1 here, 2-1 here. But I guess it could. I'm not sure if this one was in a compound, but just looking at these, it seems like the high tone appears in compounds. So it's either a borrowing or it's. Honestly, it's probably a borrowing. Or like the alternative is that this tone has a different development, or this stop coda tone has a different development if it's before some other word or some other syllable in like non-final position, essentially. Black being is probably here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Technically, the idea that an unstressed tone could turn into a high tone might still be on the table, but mostly because these two seem to subgroup closer. But given that it also appears as qi here, I'm inclined to think, like, the thing is, these two phrases are cognate because these are well, these are the same, but like you can see that these two correspond perfectly, only differing in the tone values, but they correspond in tone category, which is why I have these up top as a quick reference. Qi, the segments all correspond, and this little dot means that it's unstressed, which the writers of the dictionaries don't do a good job of telling the unstressed tone values. And this one, this yer, comes from yen, which is cognate with yen. And maybe 2-4 is like an allo tone of 112. In which case, well, these still don't correspond. R. Well, this one looks like a different element. Oh no, not necessarily. What would happen if this comes from yen? If it's yen, then if you're rhoticizing it, or like doing the rhoticizing affix to it, what had happened is yer. And then maybe it's the E right before it assimilates it. So it becomes 读其yer, or 读其yer, or something like that. Or no, sorry, it's not an error, it's an 读其yer. So maybe it's like another well, I probably shouldn't say misanalysis, but like a rebracketing that happened. Let me see. Okay. So yeah, maybe it was a rebracketing. And maybe like this entire phrase is original, or like, this entire phrase, I suppose. And maybe the unstressed to default tone explanation still has some merit, but now that, well, I guess I am no, because for the word for fly, this is clearly a tone change, a Sun-T phenomenon. So that no longer has like additional explanatory power. And so if I'm proposing that, where is navel? There you are. So if I am proposing that unstressed becomes the default tone, I am literally proposing that for one single phenomenon, or yeah, I am literally proposing it for one single etymon, lemma, whatever fancy word historical linguists have for word. Which is why I don't actually like that explanation, because it seems like a whole lot of work for just one single uh, edge case that could be explained, or one single edge case that doesn't even have any issues group internally. It's only when you compare to the external, or like, it's only when you compare with other lexs that this starts becoming a problem. And I think I am willing to do that. And now the problem is that this would have to be considered one single word, which means the segmental stuff would be a sunti, a sunti, a sunti. I don't know how to say it. I just know I think I remember the first A being a short A, so it would be an and then it's the DH, which I'm scared of. Speaking of re-stressing, though, this stream is actually really stressing my throat out for some reason. So maybe I shouldn't be talking that loudly. Now the problem with this is that the segments are all next to each other, so in reality it's probably more like do in like connected speech. But obviously the problem is that I need to specify the tones as well. And I think I've mentioned it to you before, Trinity, that IPA just isn't very good at dealing with super segmentals. So I think the thing that I can think of would probably be something like, oh, when you compose doesn't like it when I do that. Like, I would like to be able to specify tones here, but I also need to explain the rebracketing. I also kind of need these to be stuck together. So I'm not sure how to do that notationally. This might, well, technically this is just a coding problem. Which I guess we could. Okay, let's move this over here, right? Someone remind me to put the windows back in the right places after I'm done with this bit, because knowing me, I will forget. But yeah, if whoops, didn't mean to do that. If we're looking at the sound changes here, then we have our entering merger. We have this has to move down here. I think, yes. And then we have our yod rounding. After that yod rounding, we have our schwaification. Or, yes, there. And then we have our palatalization. Yep. Or, well, I guess I have this reversed. So let's just, god dang it. Control enter? Yeah, there we go. And then we deleted this. And then after that, we have our dental mergers, just here, and then our L to N. And then this is just like phonetic detail. L to N. Yeah, L to N can go anywhere. Oh, no. I'm putting it here because these two are more related. Because this one drains the supply of na before la replaces it. And then this is like quote unquote phonetic detail, which is this is actually the third rule. Do I have the null sign? I have to have it like somewhere. Searching, here it is. Oh wait, do I have it in WinCompose? I might. I think that's it. Let me check. I don't know. Empty set symbol? Yeah. 0/. Okay. I no longer have to copy and paste this. Good. This becomes before about the heck happened to my internet. Okay. Oh, okay, we're back. I thought I had to deal with some uh like technical issues or something. Well, those were technical issues, but I'm glad we're reconnected now. Uh and I hope no other trouble will happen. Famous last words. Anyway, null sign becoming, or not null sign, but like empty initial becoming that at beginning and specifically I don't know how to do the not symbol, so that is probably one thing that I still have to figure out. Where is it? Definitely have a not somewhere here. Yeah. Okay. And then not this guy. Yeah. Okay. And then after that we have what to the in initial position as well as null to the for a oo and oo. Okay, so we're good. After that, right, and then to deal with that one single, I guess we still have to like make up a bunch of sound changes to target like one specific lemma. And let me just move this back over here so we can see everything. Let me see if this is aligned well. Good enough, I guess. Oops. Something like that would be good. And then that's something we can't really code, but I would say like yeah disappears if it's after an E, even if no, sorry. after an E, even if it's heterosyllabic. And, well, yeah, can't really appear somewhere else. So something like that, which would give us the form here. Wait, let me move the windows around for my own sake. So hopefully you can see the third syllable here. Yeah, and then yeah, and then you rotosize that, becoming your. Okay, to stand is somewhere. Yeah, this is the right form. And I should probably change this to the actual character they use. The word for to bite is kind of weird. Where are you? Yeah. So question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm not sure if, no, this one doesn't actually insert an before that. So as you can see somewhere down here with hard, this is what finally allowed me to figure out the issue with this one. So, oh wait, phonемicization is earlier. And so, you do also insert that before. Okay. So, in theory, this would be so this should technically be that. So yes, I guess both of those work. So we have both out and meow. So which neither of which explain this. So again, it's like a subgrouping thing again, where it seems like these two have forms that descend from both ow and meow. Or at this point, if I'm just talking about these two, it should be ow and meow. Whereas our dear Nanjin has yao. All right, I'm back. Yeah. So we have a protoform that probably, honestly, if it descends from the proto language of these two, that allophonic rule probably happened in their common ancestor. So we're probably looking at ngao and niao, which really doesn't tell us much because that's literally just the forms that we're looking at. The problem is that we can't connect this to Lanjin's Yao, even though it seems like all three of these descend from a protoform, or the same protoform rather, which is Ngao, or well, that's a bit the way I said that was a bit Cantonese biased, but it would be something like Ngao, uh, where Mandarinic inserts a ya between a velar and an ah. So you get ngao becoming ngao, and then Mandarin loses ng before a palatal glide, and so it becomes yao. Or segmentally, it becomes yao. But then it seems like these guys just borrowed it. Either when it was ngao or when it was ngao. And because of the phonotactic restriction, the ng becomes a na or something like that. So these look like borrowings. This does not look like a borrowing. This looks like it descends from the proto language, or like the prior proto language, to the one that connects these three. But yeah, these ones have bay. It doesn't seem like I can reconstruct a protoform for those. This one, wind is fine. I is, or not I. What is this? Smoke is fine. Doesn't seem like there's a protoform that connects these three, except maybe like nah. It might be nah. Oh, I guess that is a problem, isn't it? Um. Yeah, that might be a problem because this one doesn't fortify. To the, so maybe it's just inserting a wa before. Um. So maybe this first change doesn't happen. Okay. But again, yeah, you can see the closer relationship of these two as compared to Lenzin. Uh, Again, something that to give would be ge. Uh, does Lenzin not have ge sequences? It might be subject to similar phonotactic restrictions as Beijing Mandarin, where uh, has to appear around a ya. Or the opposite, rather. Or maybe I just like force them into an all framework. While, no, I guess. Hard to say, hard to say. It seems like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have, done that. I'm now realizing it makes my life harder. Uh, Whereas if I kept the original schwas, it's probably easier. But yeah, this one's definitely gai. Gai. or gi. So it seems like these are two related forms. This is definitely like ge or something. The fact that these alternate between 2-4-5, or sorry, 5-3 and 5-5 tones seems to suggest to me that, well, okay, so it seems like this has both forms that correspond to this form and these forms, and these two forms seem to relate to each other somewhat. Given the phonetic similarity of these and the lack of a good correspondence between them, I'm tempted to say this is a loan word. And I don't think it's R. Comparing with this, it might just be how it adapts or yeah or something like that. The E version at least. The A. Yeah, but the presence of A does kind of suggest loan wordiness, so maybe there isn't a proto form for this. Okay, I might have to end after like 15 more minutes because my throat's really not feeling all that good with that much talking. We have Xin, that's good. We have Shao, that's good. Although this might be like a, no, this has to be after the dissimilation between ya and retroflexes. We have bo, which, no, I guess you could still establish a correspondence there. I'm just thinking that a lot of the time there are doublets that involve a short unstressed vowel and a stop coded tone. So, and given the general tendency of that area, so like it's an aerial thing around the lower Yangtze Delta, it seems like the result is that is no, not the result, sorry. Like the phenomenon, or like the tendency in this lower Yangtze Delta region is to essentially turn the stop coda tone. Well, they've basically merged all stop codas into a single one, even though they're keeping the tone category separate. But I think that tone is more associated with vowel length than anything else. And so I would say the quote unquote irregular insertion of a stop coda at the end is just a result of the fact that it's often unstressed and therefore is a very short syllable and therefore gets interpreted as a default of that stop coda tone. And since the previous prestige Mandarin was based on some sort of speech in that region, I think the reason that a lot of modern reading pronunciations of this word having a stop coda is a result of that. And at least it seems like the Cantonese reading pronunciation of this, which is but, uses what I would consider to be the most unmarked tone or not the unmarked tone, sorry, the most unmarked stop coda, which is T, which is also just another way of saying the most common stop coda. Of course, it's hard to say that whether the fact that Cantonese reads this as but means that u hadn't assimilated to after labials by that time, because there's probably like a bunch of different rhyme books telling you what the diachronic correspondences are when it comes to characters like these. Although how rhyme booky this character is unknown to me, or maybe it even like goes back further, because you definitely see this in use during Old Chinese, and so uh, it could be just like reinforced, like not in the last, like the stop coda form might not have appeared in the last several hundred years, and instead have been appeared like maybe 1,000 and several hundred years before. In which case, yeah, Cantonese hasn't hadn't even differentiated yet, so obviously, uh, it would have had o, the u form, and then that would naturally become an a form after the b. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense here, so I'll just shut up and continue onwards. This looks straightforward. Or, well, the tone of the second syllable isn't very straightforward. Because this one, these tones don't correspond. But it is something like a Tao at least. And, well, Lentin isn't really a tiebreaker here because it de-stressed that second syllable. This isn't very helpful either. I think this does it. This is actually an all, maybe. Yeah, it's an if it's before like if it's a phonetic schwa before a glottal stop, then it's I phonemicized it as an instead of an o. So none of this is very helpful here in determining what the protoform is. A is fine. This one, yeah, I don't need the parentheses because Guiyang has broken or has shown that it could definitely be reconstructed to the ancestor. Even though we know that it could, like just by using some interpolation between the fact that Lanjin has it and the even earlier proto language has it, that would probably tell us that Xiao was in Proto Southern Mandarin. Okay. Xiao, where are you, Xiao? I would put Ting, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that Guiyang also merges. Actually, we can scroll down a bit and see their word for star. And since they've merged both nasal codas after E, I feel confident in saying that this is an E, or this is a N here. Okay. It's good. Oof. Sorry. Sneezed. Okay. Don't know why I have like the single word for leaf, or just a yet for leaf. But it should be longer. It should be longer because we have shu for all of them, including this one, even though it's the second form. Not for four, but h. Yet, and then probably not z, or not z, sorry, z. But this one's an eh, so maybe I should reconstruct an eh here. I say maybe, but yeah, I'm definitely reconstructing an eh here. Red is hong, which is good. Gan. Do tang. We have do, and we can probably also reconstruct tang to the proto language. As we can see, because of both of these have that. P is fine. I don't even know what this is. Number 69. Nice. To bring being die or carry, I think, was the original Leipzig Jakarta lemma. Ant. We have again another disyllabic word here. Yeah, this is zhong. I'm just gonna remove being, I think, because well, I might be cheating here, because these are both or rather, no, how should I say this? These don't have corresponding meanings. These are heavy. No, sorry, this is heavy, and these are serious, as in like a serious illness, which is what's actually written here. Even though the same lemma often coincide, or like both forms frequently coincide in Mandarinic varieties, they don't necessarily coincide elsewhere, so maybe this is cheating a bit. But yeah, for example, in Cantonese, one is chong and one is zhong. So one's like aspirated in the rising tone, which is the one for heavy, and one is unaspirated in the departing tone, which is the one for serious, which could either be a pre-existing departing tone variant or literary borrowing from the fact that Mandarinic has shifted voiced departing or voiced obstruent initial rising tone syllables to the departing tone. What next? Right. Zhong. Which is here. Then na is fine. This one, again, this is like interpolation. The fact that I have a Joe here is entirely interpolation. Well, I suppose this would be like Joe, right? It's based on the fact that we can find it outside of this group. Even though we don't have the corresponding lemma for Chengdu, and Guiyang has Lao instead, which is old but for people instead of for things. And I've been using the word for things. Because it's because the other word here is new, and you don't really say new people, right? So naturally my mind went to the opposite of new, which is old, rather than the opposite of young, rather than old as the opposite of young. Which I guess I didn't even really notice until just now. Word for to eat, 吃. Word for, well, these two are the same. This one is just something completely different. So, but like based on, the majority principle or whatever, we can say that this one's just replaced its word. Thick. Again, this might not be no, this is still an right? Yeah, because they're the same before a wa. So, I'm changing that then. This one would be, no, wrong button. And I guess for 9 as well. I'm going to fix that when we get to it. I thought I fixed that. Wait, what did I do? I have, no, Control Z doesn't work. So I have no idea what I just did. Let's deal with this. This should be a schwa. Which is what I meant to fix. Oh, I fixed this one instead. Let's just at this rate, let me just fix you as well. See, it's funny I used the word fix because the one that I did was the word for dog. Laugh at my comedic genius. Chang is not Chang, sorry, Chang. Chang is one of the words we have here, I think. Yeah. This becomes Chang. To blow becomes Cui, or Cui. Wood becomes Mu. Run becomes Pao. Fall becomes Die, which we can still find in Guiyang. I'm not sure why I have this bracketed or parenthesized. Yeah, parenthesized. But it's no longer a problem because we have Guiyang as our second witness. The word for eye should be yan jin. Or, yes, jin, because this one shows the dental instead of the palatal. Where's I? Not this one. It's not that one, right? No, it's this one. So it's Jin A. Of course, if we apply the same principle, this could be unstressed. But the whole reason we needed that was because the tone of these two doesn't match with the tone these two have doesn't match with the tone that those outside this little subgroup have. whereas this one matches perfectly, so it wasn't a problem. Wait, go. Or sorry, wait, go. Yes, I think we can only use we can only get way out of this. Yi has external connections but not internal, and we can't find any compounds for this because this one has ba. This one has zi. This one has compounds some other way. So yeah. Hu bang kan, I think. Tian. Yeah, it's just fine. Oh right, this guy. Which somehow doesn't have its own line. It's strange. I'm tempted to call this Sheng. Where's Tin? Wait, where are you? Ku Bang Kan Tian. Or yeah, Tian. And then after Tian. Yes. Not sure how to deal with this. I am tempted to say, okay, so all of these point towards an right? Phonemicization tells us that these are all So these are all this one's Swen, and this one's Shen. So just by interpolation, right? Just by interpolation, I'm going to say that this is Sheng or Shen, right? Shen B or Shen or something like that. Or well, this one, yes, it doesn't have any. Ooh. Does that mean it preserves a nga? Or like, it would be weird. Like, this is probably the weirdest sound change here. Actually, let's look at shui. Because if shui is shui here, which it is, that means I can't shui. I can't really say that wa is lost in Lansing after a retroflex. So reconstructing this as shun would not work unless, of course, yeah, no. So I think just by lazy interpolation, I think I'm going to call this Sheng B. The problem is, of course, is that it's pretty much like the issue is that only no, I think. No, what I should be saying is that na and na are only distinguished after as far as I can tell, in the proto language. So it would be weird to preserve it here, but it seems like there's something going on here where well, the correspondence is very, very clear, right? Sheng, or rather Xing elsewhere. Let's go to the cognate page actually. This might make it easier to see. Let me bring this window up here. Oh, I guess I've been going like 10 minutes more than I expected I would. But if we're looking at this, right? If we're looking at the lemma for rope or string, then you can see that Jing. Okay, we're starting with Jing, and then a bunch of Mandarinic specific stuff happens where this becomes Sheng. So lower register, devoice the initial, E dissimulates into after a retroflex. And you can see that pretty much every other lemma here. Did I not? No, I did bring it up above the other one. The time lag on this is crazy though. Oh, I'm 30 seconds behind, no wonder. Okay. But yeah, you can see that, every other thing is like sheng, 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 sheng. Or like something that looks close enough and is probably just a phonemic difference. And you can even see that here, like shen, because it merges all nasals. And then you have like sheng here, and then these are outside Mandarinic, so let's just ignore those for now. But like, it's just these two, right? Southwestern Mandarin specifically has swan corresponding to sheng, and or sheng for other tones. And this is pretty irregular in that it shows up in both of these and corresponds to like this particular syllable. I would have to check to see if the same syllable corresponds to sheng or something like, or no, but then okay. This is what was troubling me about Harbin, because this feels like a sound change that targets one specific syllable. That's even more specific than the Harbin one, because for Harbin we found evidence that velar all velar sequence, not velar all velar sequences, but like g unaspirated velar stop g all, and then velar sequences get a ya inserted as well. So so either both, what I should be saying is both ga and both gong, no matter the tone, becomes gyo and gyong, which becomes gyang and gya, which becomes jiang, or it becomes jiang and jiao. But this one's actually just targeting one syllable, because if we look at the name of Chengdu, we realize that because this one's Cheng, right? In Harbin, this is Cheng. So it's also a retroflex schwa na syllable. Maybe I should be looking at schwa schwa ge syllables. What's a sh? What's a syllable that has sh? In any case, like, this seems like I'm not sure what a sensible what a sensible reconstruction here is, but I'm just going to bring like the intermediate step here and then say that this one has lost, Lanzin has lost its Lanzin has merged the nasal with merge the nasal with the other nasal, and the others somehow turned the ng into like, I don't know, shown or something. And then because of standard synetic phonotactic thingies, this becomes swan, or sorry, no, shown. Yeah, shung to shown, and then like some, and then swan or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it was like some sort of intermediate, like all kind of syllable. But yeah, otherwise I think it's kind of sensible. Like the others are just kind of straightforward. Now is kind of fine. But then we have Chol, which is the regular thing. Oh, I should have this be fixed, or like becomes one or something, which could happen as early as. Oh, maybe I should look at syllables like. No, it has to be like shung. So like this has to be before the dental mergers. So after I don't know, rope change, which is sorry, becomes this is probably the easiest way to do this, right? If it's after the retroflex thingy, it's after a retroflex consonant, and then like a b tone or something like that. Yeah, there we go. Which means we should add the sound change here. Which means we should probably do that. Just move things over so that we can. I don't know. If I want to break this down into steps, right? This would be like nothing to if it's between like oops the that and and then merges into na after yeah, I like that. And then just automatically let it merge the retroflexes. Okay, and then after that we have yen. B, and then xiao or xiao, and then quan in A, and then xin in A, which is new, which means this is old. Which is kind of cognate with this, unless this is a hard decision actually, because it's two cases now where it's displaying yan instead of in. Although the word for to listen, oh, they don't show it, they don't have it. And like the other one is the word for neck, I think. You also have jiang, so maybe it does preserve jiang, unless it's some sort of substrate word. Who knows? Oh, although this is irregular, this would have to be n instead of a n. Although it could also be a typo, I should probably check. Because compared to the word for neck, if I could find it, This is a ng, which is an actual preservation of what was what came before, whereas this one's a n. I'll check the dictionary, and if it's an actual ng, then I'll fix that. And yeah, if it's an actual ng, I'll fix that and then revise the reconstruction, because these matching the forms that came before it seems like too much of a coincidence. And then I can explain everything else by like aerial spread of sound changes. So like linguists call it a wave. And I'd say like it radiates out from I don't know, political power centers. I guess I could reconstruct toe here as well. Li toe. No. There we go. Toe. B. And here as well. So li toe B. And then ngan, of course, something we solved. Mo. Yeah, mo B R. And then I don't expect any issues to come out of this, except for like nu and nyo. Again, might be a combining form. Given that this appears in a compound, then maybe what I should be saying is that these two have regularized the combining form versus meat. Well, this one regularized the standalone form. I don't expect any issues to come out of this. 八九四酿 and then 辛 or 辛 can I reconstruct something? Yes, I can reconstruct this. But for some reason you're irregularly aspirating that. But yeah, this can actually be reconstructed because we have this one attesting to the regular development. Okay. And yeah, we have. Oh yeah, and for tiers we should also put in yen here. And then we have okay, looks good. Let's just remove those, download that. This is Proto Southern Mandarin. Southern Mandarin. Save that. Save that to Sendu from Proto Southern Mandarin. Replace that. And then we're good. So I'm gonna call it here for today. Thank you for watching. And I guess I'll see you next week if you're gonna keep watching.